Are your Facebook ad costs simply spiraling out of control, making it harder to stay profitable? Look, not alone, so many advertisers I speak to see rising ad costs, rising CPMs, and just very poor returns at the last year, a year and a half. Now, that said, what if I told you there's a way for you to immediately reduce your ad costs by roughly 25%? Well, that's what I want to show you in today's video. If you're new to the channel, you know who I am, and my name is Justin, and I'm the founder at pitadvertising.com, where we help businesses implement scalable ad engines and grow e-com and info businesses to multi-seven figures with paid ads. With that being said, we profitably generated well over $30 million in client revenue in the last few years, and that said, let's get straight into today's video. So I want to show you 3 ad account examples today and show you why what I'm about to show you works. Now, before you roll your eyes, what I'm about to show you is why broad targeting actually works so much better than lookalikes, than interest, than anything else in your ad account, and why I let my ad creatives do the targeting. What does that look like, letting your ad creatives do their targeting? Well, let me show you a few ad account examples right here in 3 completely different industries, for which in all 3 we did test interest and it didn't work as well as broad did. First one, e-commerce business. Actually, they sell digital courses, so one could say it's like an info product business in that sense. That said, they're on Shopify. They sell a mass market sewing product. And let me show you month to date in terms of ad spend and return. First campaign, broad. Product is one of their masterclasses. Second campaign, interest. And actually, this is an ABO interest campaign so that we could force budget down specific ad sets and interests in this case. And it's on the same exact product with the same exact ad creatives. Look at the stats right here. One is $4,000 spent. This one is $10,000 spent. $14,000 in purchases conversion value. $4,000 in purchase conversion value. 1.4 ROAS, 1.05. This interest campaign is simply not profitable for this client. This client needs to be closer to the 1.4, 1.5-ish and more in order for them to be profitable with this info product or digital course, I should say, that they sell online. So look at the higher funnel metrics. You actually have higher CPMs on interest campaigns, which makes sense because the audience is smaller. And you have here lower click-through rates of 1.04%. And now you're going to say, well, how do you know, Justin, that this is the right interest that you test? Maybe it just was a bad interest. We actually historically went back. This account has been live for a few years, luckily. We went back to the highest performing interests ever that this account used and decided to start them up again with brand new creatives that we knew were crushing it already in our broad targeting campaign. And then it worked. You have it right here, 1.05. And this is what I mean when I say interest. I mean that we have location and we have right here, we're adding specific interests like pattern sewing or fashion and design right here. So again, we're kind of narrowing down our audience. But even when doing that, we wanted to do a bit of a quote unquote fake interest. We're like, well, we're going to do those as suggestions and let Facebook expand if it wanted to. So we have advantage detailed targeting. What does that mean? Those are just suggestions, okay? So Facebook is going to try and find people that correspond to that, but it might go out of that if it thinks is relevant. Even with that, it didn't work, so we killed it off. Ad account number 2 is actually from a completely different industry. This is from an AI kind of agency biz-op offer that we have here under consulting. So that being said, you're going to see CPMs have been crazy since Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but nonetheless, right now, if I open any of the current existing ad sets that they have. So I go here, I go ad set, I scroll down. You can actually see everything is Advantage Plus audience. It's US wide. There's literally not a single parameter right here. Look into their cost per lead. It currently is sitting at about, you're going to see it right here, $21 right here cost per lead. Disregard the opt-in rate is this data is a little bit skewed, but just to say $21 cost per lead right now on this campaign. $15 on the previous one, $11 on the prior one, $28. All of these up to very recently, essentially, this is all broad targeting. Now, if we start looking back into some of the old campaigns, and by the way, just so you know again about ad spend, right, so that you don't call me out and say, well, you barely spend, no, $12,000 in ad spend. This is the highest spending ad campaign on this ad account by far. We're at $21 costs per lead, and we're doing so on broad targeting, utilizing some kind of level of what I call manual dynamic creative testing nowadays. So anyways, I could get into that in a separate video. And so up to very recently on this ad account, they were actually doing ABOs with primarily going for interest. They tried a few CBOs too, but everything was interest-based. So as an example, if I show you some of the interest-based campaigns that they had right here, this is one of those. So if I open it up, they had, one, as an example, targeting advertising agencies. They had here Gary Vee, digital marketing, so on and so forth. And total cost per lead on this campaign was about $25, which they only spent about $125. So if I go down again on some of the other campaigns that they ran, this is another example of this right here. So if I open this up, They had HubSpot, email marketing, so on and so forth. And look at this, their lowest cost per lead anyways come from an open targeting ad set. And so that said, we ended up just simplifying the ad account dramatically by just going Advantage plus targeting and going purely broad with it, not putting a single parameter of targeting in there. I'm going to put a third and final screenshot on screen right now, which is actually from a very, very big trader in the space, one of the largest crypto and just trading YouTuber and Twitch streamer out here that we are doing consulting with. This guy's pulling in high 7, low 8 figures when it comes to selling masterminds, courses, and so on and so forth. There's the same thing with him. The current winning ad set and campaign as a whole is actually broader by nature. And that being said, they're doing pretty good, all things considered, from it. So in the last wave of ads that they ran, they spent about $100,000 to make back close to $500,000 purely out of paid ads. And this was, again, a screenshot that I'm showing you from one of our consulting calls that we had right there. So with that being said, I'm like, 3 proofs of concept that broad works. Why does it work? This is something that they showed at some point on YouTube, but quite some time ago. And I want to reiterate that today because creative is that new targeting. What does that mean? Well, when you look into the ad messaging, when you expand essentially an ad concept, would it be a video or a static ad, you'll start to notice specifics behind the messaging of a said ad. And if you think like Facebook, you're going to then extract those variables when it comes to showing this ad to the right type of person, matching the ad with the right person. An unaware ad, a problem-aware ad, solution-aware, product-aware, most-aware, those actually are what people refer to when they say top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. The way you position the messaging of your creative will only resonate with somebody who is in that specific side of your funnel. I'll give you an example. I'll hear a lot of people telling me, Justin, why don't I set up a retargeting campaign and do testimonial ads? And I want to do that because I want to retarget my audience with testimonials so then to get them to buy. But I'm like, okay, let's take a look at that. By nature, a product or a most-aware ad usually is going to be an ad with the single goal of enhancing social proof, trust, credibility, to get somebody who already has purchase intent to get them over the edge. So I'm like, doesn't that kind of sound like the testimonial ad you're referring to here? Yes. Well, if you is, and I'm going to take the example that I brought up right here. So this is like some lotion. It's an example to eliminate odors down there as an example for a woman, or pH imbalances and whatever. If nobody ever told you that you stink down there and you don't even know that you stink down there, what are you going to do if I show you an ad in your feed that is a testimonial ad that says, hey, this product saved my life. I was troubled down there before. And, I was had many partners in my life that told me, some bad feedback about the orders. And now like, they're not going to relate to that. You'll like scroll. You're like, what the is that about? Like, does not concern me, right? For all I know, like, I don't even have this issue. So you're somewhere unaware. Right? So it's like, you're not even going to relate to this ad. You're just going to scroll. And therefore, Facebook's going to be like, well, I'm not going to show this ad to this person because they don't care about it. And so that said, it's like the positioning of your messaging will directly impact who your ad is going to be shown to. And then same thing, it's like, you're then going to put your targeting with age, gender, location, which I still do when it comes to broad targeting. Those are the only parameters that you do right there. When you extract one of those ads, I'm like, you have a mass market desire, a persona, which both together make up your who. They replace the interest, the lookalikes, and whatever. It's like here, no more sweaty odors. Well, mass market desire is probably to, again, I want to have a good smelling down there area. Let's just put it that way. So it's like, great. Then if I'm going with that and I'm someone who is actively speaking about that with friends, texting people about this, doing research online, well, I'm probably at a point where I'm either problem or solution aware, and this is going to be a good ad to show me on my feed. And Facebook also knows, guess what? They know what is on the landing page. They know everything that is written on a landing page. Would it be reviews or whatever? And therefore, they're able to target people with that. And that's why I'm telling you, one of the lowest ways to lower your costs to advertise, would that be your CPMs or more down a funnel metrics? So something like a cost per lead or cost per action, cost per purchase, CAC, is to just simply go broad. Forget about testing audiences. Forget about complexifying your ad account. Go simple. And again, it's not because I'm against interest or lookalikes. It's actually because fundamentally, every time I've tested it, broad has always outperformed it at scale. Every single time, broad has outperformed interest at scale. For every ad account in every industry, I tried this too. But I hope through this video, you understand the logic behind why creative is now doing this targeting. And now that you know this very simple trick to reduce your cost to advertise by close to 25% in some cases, you might be wondering, how do I make sure that this works for my own business and my specific campaigns? Well, If you want to have me and my team run your paid ads on Meta, Google, or TikTok, check out the first link in the description down below to book in a call with myself and the team at paidadvertising.com. And with that being said, if you want to work with me one-on-one on a consulting basis and have me review your paid ads, work with you over the shoulder, then check out a second link down below to join our Ad Engine one-on-one consulting program. And if you're not yet ready to work with someone and you want some more free content, then I highly recommend you check out this video showing you exactly how I share that I spent $15 million on ads in the last year and my lessons with it. So I'll see you in that video.